When you think about the brick and mortar of this building, it's amazing. If these walls could talk, what has transpired in this building. I'm Lyndall Brenton. I attended this building when it was a high school, and from 1969 to 1972 is when I was here. It's a lot different now than it was then. It had one gymnasium. The building to the south was a second or an auxiliary building, and there was an open breezeway between the two buildings, so you literally had to go outside to get to some of your classes going back and forth. Rain, sleet, or shine, you had to come out through here.
This building honestly means so much to me. My name is Scott Cart, and I had the fortune of working at Liberty Junior High and Heritage Middle School for 30 years. I've been accused of having a lot of useless facts about this building, but I truly love being a little bit of a historian related to this. Some interesting things about this, obviously, is number one, the building that was here before, Liberty Ladies College, you may or may not know, burned down. And then the city took over the land and built Liberty High School on that land, opening in 1923, which is what brings us to the 100-year anniversary. So when we've done renovations here, we have found everything from wallets with tickets to plays in the 1960s to finding playbills for debate tournaments here from early on in the 50s and 60s. So really, this building has gone through so many transformations.
You know, when I think of this building, I think of essentially the three large geographical areas in this community. If you think about the high school sits on a hilltop, the Liberty Square sits on a hilltop, and William Jewell College sit on a hilltop. And you can see all three of those at any point, whether you're standing on any of those three locations, you can see the other two.
Coming here as a 7th grader, this building was absolutely terrifying. When you look at this building, it just has a certain mystique. And for those of us that have been in the community, knowing that we ran a haunted house here for 17 years also plays to that idea that this building just has its own unique style and has its own unique character. The Stephen King movie, I believe it was around 1988 that it was made, but it was called When They Come Back, I think, or Sometimes They Come Back. That's what it was called. Yeah, great, horrible, terrible movie, but got to be the site for that.
I live just down the hill. My mom's house is just down the hill, but it always loomed large, literally looming large when we look up the hill. I'm Garrett Brown. I attended 8th and 9th grade here at Heritage Middle School, back when it was Liberty Junior High. The culture here was just one of, we're all gonna have fun, even the teachers. You know, the assemblies were a big deal back then. They had wigs and sunglasses and at least one mini trampoline. The stairs and the different levels and the schedule, it was something that we had not encountered before, and this was this was the big leagues for us.
It looks scary from the outside, and then you go inside, and you have multiple levels. You have classes all over the place.
When you first came here, your locker was on the 3rd floor, and that's a lot of steps.
My legs were definitely sore the first week, but yeah, getting to classes was kind of difficult, but I got there.
My name is Peyton Allenbaugh, and I'm in 8th grade in Heritage Middle School.
My teacher, Miss Armelio, has a bunch of pictures of her past classes, and I love looking at them. And to know that my mom went here and just walking through the halls, I feel important. It's like I'm just in a very cool place.
I can remember the day when Discovery opened. You know, at that time before Discovery opened, we had a little over 1,200 students in this building for 8th and 9th grade, which sounds ridiculous, right? 1,200 students in this building, but that was just the chaos we lived in, and that's what we were familiar with. And then having the next transition in 2013, when we became a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade building, and all of a sudden we traded 9th graders for 6th graders. The difference between a 9th grader and a 6th grader is just ridiculous, right? And so that was a huge transition for us as a building, was making that change.
Right off the bat, there was just conversations happening about how Heritage was just different. I love to be in spaces that kind of march to the beat of their own drum. So my name is Reagan Allegri, and I am the proud principal here at Heritage. My first thought was, this is gonna take forever for me to not get lost in this building. And I remember thinking, I don't know how many steps are in this building, but I don't know if I can wear high heels. And 2, I don't know how many hallways are in here, but I don't know where they all go. When you see that the name of the school is Heritage Middle School, that it was very clear there was a reason that that was the name that was chosen. It's rich with history. It's full of so many stories of generations that have come through here.
Maybe watching it evolve, it's kind of as my life has evolved. So I went to high school here. My wife was in the last class to graduate from this building. My wife was my chemistry partner. I was a junior, she was a senior. My senior class was the first class to graduate from the high school on Blue Jay Drive. Both of our children went to this school. I think at that time it was a junior high school. In another 2 or 3 years, I'll have a grandson that will attend this building that his mother attended, that his grandfather and grandmother attended. So that's pretty neat legacy for us.
You know, my kids will go here. I have a son that's a third grader now, and I think that's a nice kind of closing of the loop. I did walk these halls as a student, and now I'm walking the halls and teaching in the classrooms as a teacher. This might be the kind of inception of the idea of me being a teacher.
Formative years of being here as a junior high student, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, knowing that I was surrounded by incredibly positive, supportive people. Just all of the folks that did that is what prompted me to turn around and then be an educator.
This was the first time I saw teachers really having fun, really chopping it up with their students, bringing their full selves to their lessons. There was seriousness, but also there was a bit of like personality and goofiness, and I realized that these teachers were friends and they were people I could count on in my community. I remember specifically Coach Nixon being a presence, not just here in the building, but like around town. This was the first place where I realized I was set in the community and I could be part of it in the long term.
It's like the energy, the magic, it's just definitely there. And going to different schools, I just don't get that feeling. I don't get that just energy of all this history.
When I was here in 1969, there were 1,000 students here in 4 grades. So if you think about 100 years and 1,000 students and the teachers and the administrators that have been here all that time, that's a lot of lives that have been touched.
But I do think that there is just such a passion for being in a space that from the outside looks so very historic and full of heritage, but on the inside is so very innovative.
The culture that's here, where students feel safe, where students feel challenged, where students feel like they are getting what they need in order to be successful, is going to continue here. But really the heart and soul of this building, in my mind, is the relationships that are built here, the history that's built here, and that ultimately becomes what creates a community that Liberty has.